When you see this charming Sri Lankan beauty speak, it's hard to believe that she had confidence issues in the past. She's a star on the rise and one of the most unaffected people I've met in the business. She loves who she is and displays it with elegance and humor. I like the way her laughter rings in the room long after she's left it. I'm sure you'll love Jacqueline Fernandez. Watch her. Welcome to the show, Jacqueline.
Thank you.
It's really nice to see you. After a year, actually, if you remember, I met you a year ago at Karan's house.
Yes, that was the infamous big terrace party.
Yes, the terrace party. And what I remember is at that time, I think you had this twinkling eyes and you were moving from one group to the other.
Yeah, like little
people.
fairy.
Yes.
My mom terms me a gypsy. So yeah, but I prefer like butterfly, fairy, like, you know what I mean? Like something like that, yeah.
So at that time, what I realized was that you were really discovering the place, the people, you were enjoying the attention that you were getting and you were getting a lot of attention that you were.
What nonsense.
Do you still feel as excited about being in the movies, in the surroundings?
Mean, absolutely. I actually feel more excited now because there was a time when I had first come here and I didn't know anyone. I didn't actually feel very comfortable being at certain events because I just felt everyone knew everyone and they had, like, you know, whatever, their history, and they've done movies together and they had a certain comfort level, and I didn't share that actually with anyone. So I felt almost pretty awkward, socially awkward most of the time. And now, because like I have, you know, done my fair share of movies and I've like worked with quite a few people, so like when I go to these, you know, parties and social gatherings, it's like, you know, there's like things I can talk about. There's people I can talk with. And so now I'm even more excited than I've ever been. So I know like people tell me to stop being so excited, stop being so happy. But I'm just like, I can't help it now. It's like, it's been the best phase of my career so far. So yeah.
So what do you feel about the kind of attention that you're getting now?
The kind of attention that I have been hoping to get, because now it's, you know, I'm talking to directors that I've wanted to work with, you know, my entire time here. I am working on projects, you know, that I've always wanted to be part of. I'm working with actors that I've always wanted to work, you know, opposite. So it's, yeah, it's obviously the kind of attention that I have been wanting to get professionally, you know, for like a long time. And it certainly did take me a lot of time, but like, the journey was slow and steady, and yeah, and then right now I think I'm supposed to be exactly where I'm supposed to be.
So you had it all planned, since you're saying that you are in a place where you wanted to be. So when you began, did you have it all planned out?
I never had it planned out. Honestly, like even moving to India was something that was not planned out in my life at all. Like I had no idea that I would actually end up in India at any point in my life, because I'd always wanted to be an actress and I always wanted to be in film. But in my head, I was thinking, okay, so obviously because of like language and this, that, whatever, I'll probably end up in London or America or, you know, LA or whatever. I just didn't know how I was going to get there, but I was like, okay, eventually I will get there. And India just happened, honestly, by chance, because I was part of this fashion show in Sri Lanka, and I was discovered there by an agency in India. And then they brought me here for, you know, a couple of modeling assignments, and post that was when they sent me to meet a certain Mr. Sujoy Ghosh, yes. Because they were casting for Jasmine and Aladdin. And I landed the role, I don't know how. But, you know, even when that offer came to me, like I thought, okay, India would be maybe a passing time, and then maybe I'll move into, you know, something like America, LA, whatever. And when I got that audition, when I was sent for that audition, I was like, what do you mean you're sending me for an audition? I don't understand. Like, you know, I don't speak Hindi. I don't know the language. I don't really know anything about, you know, Bollywood. I remember faintly my father watching Hindi movies, you know, but we never stuck around because we never understood, like, you know, the language. And that's when I realized that movies were dubbed. That's when I realized everything, the mechanics of it, you know, like what a Hindi movie was about. I started watching them. I started understanding actors. I didn't know who Ritesh was. I had no idea who I was meeting. Like, you know what I mean? When I met him for the first time. So yeah, it just kind of happened like that. And it's funny because since my first movie, I haven't left. I just stuck around.
Yeah, because I remember Sujoy saying that when he met you the first time, you were completely, unglamorous and you were wearing glasses.
I was a deer in headlights. I was like, who, what, where? Like, my audition was probably the most funniest thing you could ever imagine, because like when they asked me to say something in Hindi, all I could say was I was reciting some tongue twister or something, like, but my broker at that time, who was helping me find an apartment, was teaching me. That was it.
Your broker was teaching you Hindi. That's funny.
Yeah, he was teaching me like chachu ki chachi. No.
Chandu ke chacha.
Yeah. Something like that. And also while I was trying to say that, I messed it up. So I was like, oh God, this is terrible. This would probably be like the world's worst audition. Not only have I tried to say something, I've messed that up also. But like, I don't know, there was something, I think he was going for geeky, clumsy, silly, I don't know what it was, but like I somehow, got the part.
And his nickname for you is Champu, which he still calls you.
And I call him Taplu, okay?
What does that mean?
I don't know, apparently it means baldy, but I think, yeah.
He's not baldy.
But he's getting there.
So you call him Taplu?
Taplu, yes.
It's not Taplu, it's Taklu, by the way.
Right. Okay, maybe I said Taplu by accident, so then it just stuck. Yeah.
But how did the transition happen from the geeky person to this glam queen?
Honestly speaking, so like I did Aladdin, so Jasmine, I played Jasmine, and I was very comfortable playing Jasmine because it was quite a lot of me in the character. And then my second film I did was Jaane Kahan Se Aaye Hai, where I was directed by Milab Zaveri, and it was like this really crazy story about an alien, it was me, who came down from Venus. And so again, I was like goofy and silly in that movie. And it was funny because those first two characters that I played here in India were very much me. Anyone who knows me well knows that I'm, extremely clumsy, knows that I'm very goofy, I'm not at all glamorous. I sit around like picking my nose, or whatever,
No.
Yeah, not a great vision, right? But that's something I would do, you know what I mean? Or it was when I was offered Murder 2, it was a movie that I initially had said no to, because I was like, no, how would I ever possibly pull off, someone who's like so sensuous and, like, whatever. Like, I was like, there's no way I could probably, even pull off this character. And then that's when Mukesh sir and Bhatt Saab called me to the office, and they're like, listen, do this movie. It'll be great for you. It's a very big franchise. And at that time also, I hadn't signed anything. My first two movies hadn't done well. So I was actually sitting at home for like a year. I hadn't signed anything for a year. So I was like, do I go back to Sri Lanka, or do I do Murder 2? Do I go back to... I was like, okay, I do still want to work. So I signed Murder 2. And that was the first time I actually tasted some form of success.
So in the initial stages of your career, you were offered some roles, which you did. Like there was also a lot of cameo roles and some songs that you did and all that. There was always a sense that there's this really pretty girl called Jacqueline and she has a lot of potential, but none of it was really reflecting in any movies that were being released.
Yes, yeah.
So what were you feeling at that time? Like, I'm going to do this as a stopgap thing, or did you feel something was going to come, or did you feel like, okay, this is the best of what I have?
No, never did I feel it was the best of what I had. When I signed Kick, like, okay, this is the best. This is like what I have been working for. But, the funny thing was, when it actually came to me signing Kick, I was like, oh my God, I cannot believe I'm signing Kick. Like, wait a minute, this is maybe too good. Yeah. I was like, wait, this is actually too good. I don't know if, this is right. Like, I went back into that space where I was like, oh, like, can this really be happening to me? You know what I mean? Because I was kind of like doing the second leads, and I was doing the cameos, and I was doing the item songs. And then all of a sudden, I've been signed to play the lead opposite Salman Khan. And I was like, what just happened? You know what I mean? Like, then I questioned my potential. And I guess I had lost a lot of confidence. I was happy doing whatever I was doing. I got used to it. And it took, a movie like Kick and also spending time with Salman to actually regain a lot of confidence, I think, that I had kind of lost along the way, And it's amazing because, like, post-Kick, I started enjoying the experience so much more because I was just a lot more confident, like, about what I was doing. And, like, Kick for me was so life-changing.
So tell me, how did Kick really come about?
I get this call from Nadyad, and I remember for months they were casting the lead opposite Salman. Like, for months, I remember I would see it in the news all the time. And the funniest thing was, never for a second did I ever think I'd be casting Kick. Like, somehow, I don't know why, but I just felt that movie was way too out of my reach because it was like Salman and it was like Nadyad, and I was like, I don't think I'll be able to, like, ever be able to do this movie, And this was honestly, again, at a certain dip in my career because Race 2 had released, and again, I had got no movie offers.
After Race again.
Yes, okay. I had one or two dwindling ones which were like somewhere in the air, but I had no idea what was happening with them. And then I get this call from Nadyad, okay? So he's like, listen, I want to see you come to the office. So I said, okay, cool. And I've worked with Nadyad before. Like, I've worked on Houseful 2 with him, and I'd done Houseful 1 item song.
Sajid Nadyadwala is who we are talking about.
Yes, Sajid Nadyadwala. Okay. He's like, come to the office. So I said, okay, cool. I said, could it be Houseful 3? Could it be an item song? Could it be a cameo? I was like, I had no idea what it was even for, right? So I went to meet him at the office, and then he's like, okay, I want to talk to you about Kick. So even when he said that, I was like, item song? Like, the lead actress's friend? I was like, what is it? And he was like, no. He's like, it's the lead opposite Salman. Honestly, my heart, like, was about to come out of my throat. I was just like, this cannot be happening. This cannot, like, think of, like, the wildest dream you've ever had and make that a reality. And that it was exactly what happened, when I'd signed Kick, when I was offered Kick.
But even though right now you are really comfortable with your phase, right, as is happening in our film industry, signing these great movies and all, you still haven't lost focus on your original dream of being in Hollywood, in LA, like, right? So you
not.
so from what I hear, you are already working on some international projects. Is that true?
Yeah, I worked on an English film shot in Sri Lanka. It was actually, a Sri Lankan film made in English, okay, for an international audience. So I worked on that already, and then I worked on a British production as well, like a thriller. I just think that, that was always initially my dream, to be able to kind of like do movies in Hollywood, more so because it's a language that comes naturally to me. As much as, like, I've worked right now on my Hindi and I'm actually comfortable in Hindi movies. Like, it's funny, but when I was shooting for the British film, I was having such a difficult time with my lines. I was actually forgetting lines in English but if you give me a script in Hindi, I will not forget even a word, even an enunciation, nothing. And I'll be like putting out my lines. I never have a problem with that. But like when I was doing this English film, I was just like, oh gosh, I actually thought it'd be easy, but it wasn't really that easy.
So right now you just spoke to me about language barrier, and it just occurred to me, you're shooting for a film, Houseful, right now, where all the three girls, Nargis, you
Lisa.
and Lisa,
Yeah.
all three of y'all are actually Hindi is not the first language.
Hilarious. You should watch us. We sound great together.
How do you manage all three of y'all? Like I mean, it's pretty interesting that all three heroines with the same language barrier are in the same film.
Yeah, we were cast so well, weren't we? Like, I keep looking at Nadia and I'm like, good casting. Like, you know what I mean? All the ones who like are not from here. Hindi is not our first language, but the characters demand it.
Okay, that y'all don't know Hindi.
Yeah, exactly. We're very natural, because we're like, we keep blundering our Hindi, okay? And, but we're very confident about our blunders as well, because we don't know we're making mistakes. So it comes very naturally to us. And we're ridiculous on that set, because then you have like Akshay and Abhishek and Ritesh, who are so good with their Hindi, you know what I mean? Like Akshay, most of the time is conversing in Hindi, And so they're always like correcting us or, you know, like having a good laugh at our expense. But yeah, it's great actually, you know, that we've all been cast together because we have such a great time together.
Is it really possible for actresses to be friends? Because from what I hear, you're having a very good time with Nargis and Lisa.
I actually have always felt it is. Like, I have never really had a problem working with a female energy, okay, or like another actress. And I have been working with a lot of actresses, like, through the course of my career. Like, in Houseful 2, there was Asan, there was Zareen, there was Shahzan. In Race 2, there was Deepika, there was Amisha Patel. Now in Houseful 3, it's like, I don't know, but like, I actually have a lot of fun working with other actresses because there's so much to learn, okay, first of all, from other actresses. And there's so much you guys can talk, you know, about, and you guys can relate to each other about. So, I mean, everyone knows that Sonam is a very, like, you know, close friend of mine. And they always ask me this question, like, oh, you know, two actresses can never be friends, and it's ridiculous, and you guys all want the same roles. And I was like, yeah, but I was like, there will be certain roles that I will know for a fact I could not do, and that Sonam, you know, would be able to perfectly do. And there would be roles that probably I'd be able to do and Sonam would not be able to do, you know? So there's always, I think when you have that security of there will be, you know, it's not really the competition, it's actually the casting. You know, you want what's right for the casting. I think when you kind of have that screwed onto your head about the people that you're working with, about your competitors, then I think you can be friends with anyone. So I don't know, like, I've always kind of had that mindset, which is why it makes it so easy for me to kind of work with other people. And also, I mean, there's so much you can gossip about. Like, we're actresses in the same industry, you know what I mean? Dealing with the same people. So it's like we come across the same instances and events and experiences where it's like, when you can kind of share those, you know, lovely little details, it's nice, you know, like, you can relate to each other. You can talk about problems that, you know, no one would be able to understand.
You can talk about heroes.
You can talk about heroes.
What I've noticed about you is that, you know, you get along very well with your male co-stars as well.
Yes.
I mean, you get along very well with John.
Yeah.
Where Red was, you know, sort of really helping you with your
Gym.
physical gymming and whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
You get along very well with Varun.
Yes,
You get along very well with Arjun.
It's very important, like, when I'm working on a project, to create a very positive atmosphere. Eating together or gymming together or, you know, reading lines, I just feel like it creates like a great kind of, like, you know, atmosphere to work in. And which is why, I mean, like, I'm like a very, very sociable person, you know what I mean? I end up talking so much, like, so many times, like, if we're doing night shoots and I'm like talking, people will be like, shut her up, she's so annoying, you know? It's important to, like, get along. Like, I couldn't imagine doing a, you know, movie with someone I couldn't get along with. Like, that would kill me. Who would I talk to? Like,
Has that happened though?
someone I couldn't talk to was probably Amitabh Bachchan in my first movie. Because I remember one time he asked me if I wanted any hot chocolate, and I was just like looking at him like I didn't know what to say to you. I know you just asked me for something, but I cannot answer you right now. Like, he probably thought I was like the weirdest girl in the planet.
One of the biggest casualties for a heroine in the business is relationships.
Yes.
Because it's very difficult to balance a relationship with a career. If you had to choose between the two, what would you choose?
Honestly, right now, I've chosen my career. I don't want to lie to myself. I don't want to be dishonest. I don't want to be like, hey, you know, I'm trying to be in this relationship because, you know, I'm supposed to be in a relationship, or, you know, I'm someone who can balance the two. I can't, honestly speaking. Like, and I know at this phase in my life right now, I'm waking up in the morning, I'm going to work. I'm coming back from work, I'm going to sleep. You know what I mean? So what would be the point of actually being in a relationship? And how unfair would it be to my partner for me to be in a relationship with him where he won't get to see me? We really won't be able to discuss anything else except my career. And I think that would be, like, quite an injustice, you know? And, like, it's just not the right time. Unfortunately, or fortunately, whatever it is, I cannot have, you know, anyone else in my life. I mean, I was just gifted kitten, okay, for my birthday last month. And I feel so bad because I've been out for an entire month shooting. And this cat, who was a kitten I've come back home to right now, is like a teenager. I feel like I've missed out on her growing years. And I feel so bad because, like, you know, she's at home and, like, you know, there's someone who comes and takes care of her for a little while, but she's not getting my full attention, you know? Being in a relationship is actually involving someone's feelings and emotions, you know? And unless you can totally commit to that, you shouldn't be in one.
So we were talking about your friendship with Sonam. So I wanted to ask you, was it really weird when you were linked up with her cousin Arjun? Did it come in the way of your friendship at all?
Not at all, because, like, actually, the funny thing is, luckily for us, the link up did not happen when we were complete strangers to each other. You know, I think it's very easy if, like, you guys are friends and then the link up happens and you're like, what just happened? That's weird, awkward, you know, but, like, you're able to kind of laugh it off, you know, like, so he'll send me, like, a random thing that he'd find on Instagram going, hey, look, you know, like, they put up, like a random picture of, like, them putting our picture together with, like, a heart around it. He's like, ha, 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 and I was like, yeah, that's really weird, you know what I mean? So it's like stuff like that, you know, like, luckily, but if, like, you don't know the person, and then, like, you guys are having, like, these link-ups and you're just like, how do I even begin to tell that person that, you know, I'm really sorry, but I had nothing to do with it, or, you know what I mean, like, what's going on, you know, how strange. So I've known Arjun from, around the same time that I started knowing Sonam. And so, I mean, like, we hang out at each other's houses and we, like, chill, and then, you know, we've never worked together, you know, but I think because we have, you know, a friendly vibe, a lot of people would love to, you know, kind of link up celebrities. It's what they do in their spare time.
So, Jacqueline, this is a segment where we give a chance to all your fans to own something that you've owned before. So, what have you got for us today?
Okay, so let me show you guys. I chose a scarf of mine. This is actually something that I picked up when I was shooting for Roy. So there's a scarf, okay, which I wore around the entire time I was shooting. And I got some jewelry as well, but really fun jewelry. So, like, beautiful colors. And this is what I wore recently on a shoot for one of my brands. The designer let me keep it as well. So there's, like, a ring and a bracelet and some earrings as well. So I hope that whoever gets a chance to wear it enjoys it as much as I did.
So you'll have to sign it because we'll put it up on the net.
Sure.
And viewers will be able to buy it from there.
Oh, wow. Please buy it. It meant a lot to me.
And the proceeds of this will go to charity.
Oh, great.
So, Jacqueline, it's not just you who's gifting things to us. We are going to gift you something as well. It's actually Kindle from Amazon.
Oh,
Since
amazing, because I love to read.
You can download a lot of stuff on
And
this.
this saves so much space.
Yes, it does.
You should see my house. There's, like, books everywhere. Like, it's such a problem to clean.
So now here it is. You can download as many books as you want and
Thank
enjoy
you.
it.
Oh my gosh. Great. This will save me a lot. Thank you.
So at the beginning of the show, before we started rolling, you just said that I have a very photogenic face.
What nonsense. What nonsense. You have. I thought you were saying that I said this about myself.
I said
you
that,
do.
Yeah. So
you have a great face for TV.
So I'm really going to use that, and I'm going to do this vain moment with you, which I call the selfie moment.
Oh no, but I'm terrible at selfies.
Yeah, but we'll manage between the two of us.
You have to show me.
Yes, sure.
Okay.
Here it is. So we're going to play a little game now. Actors are known to lie very well. So let's see how good a liar you are. You're going to make 3 statements now, out of which 2 will be truths and 1 will be a lie. And our viewers will guess which one is a lie.
I'm so bad at lying.
Oh, really? we'll find that out soon.
Okay, fine. Number 1, I'm allergic to bananas. Number 2, I used to have a pet rat. And number 3, I still cannot differentiate between left and right. And the lie is, you guys never would have guessed this one, that I am not allergic to bananas because bananas are my favorite fruit and I eat them all the time. But I was good, right?
Yeah.
You guys believe me? That was the truth.
Now I'm going to ask you 5 questions. The quick 5. And you're going to answer it as quickly as possible. Okay?
Okay.
Hottest Bollywood actor.
Salman Khan.
Which is the city that you've lived in which you would call your home?
Bombay.
Wow. Low on sleep, low on love. What could you live with?
No one sleep. Don't judge me.
Which is the most irritating habit that you have that you want to get rid of?
Saying all the time. Oh, talking too much.
What gives Jacqueline the biggest kick in her life?
What gives me a kick is to, achieve goals, and so far I think like I've set out a goal to, work in film and do good movies and yeah.
What was your childhood like?
I had an amazing childhood actually. Like all my siblings are all like close to my age. We're all in the same age group. I have an elder sister and 2 elder brothers. I'm the youngest. My dad was a DJ.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but he also worked 2 jobs. He also was a perfume salesperson. Okay, during the day.
That's diverse.
Yeah, I know. And he was a DJ at night. My mom worked for the airlines, but then she moved on to advertising at the newspaper. So my parents have always kind of been this role model of hard work. Like my father, I think probably had 2 to 3 hours of sleep every night. I mean, I was actually good though. Like I would love ironing. I would do all the chores very happily.
Really?
I was so happy doing chores. Like my sister would like pile all her chores. I mean, my brothers wouldn't even bother. But I'd be like, really? I'll do the ironing. I used to love vacuuming. I used to like wash the dishes. I used to be so happy doing all this stuff. And it was like a great team we kind of had, going and. Yeah, so I mean, but like I said, I had a fantastic childhood.
From wanting to vacuum and to do dishes, when did you decide that you're suddenly going to be this actress?
My parents were like, "You're so going to be a housewife." Like, a really good one too. And no, because the weirdest thing was, like, up until about the age of 12, I wanted to be a nun.
A nun?
Yes, and then I hit 14. It all changed. No.
So apart from your dream of reaching Hollywood and doing a Hollywood film and having a great career, one other thing that you've done is you started a restaurant in Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
How did that happen? That's really like off from this
Yeah, the
map.
weirdest thing is I've started a restaurant and I have a tea plantation and an island.
Wow.
Spice Island in Sri Lanka, but I don't have a home. I still don't have a home here. So it's been quite funny, but one of the things I really love in business is hospitality. I've always been a huge fan of Sri Lankan food because that's like what I've grown up on. So I partnered with one of Sri Lanka's leading chefs and we opened up a really kind of authentic Sri Lankan food restaurant.
What's it called?
It's called Kema Sutra.
Oh.
So Kema in Sinhalese means food and Sutra means the art of, so it's the art of food. But a lot of people ask me like, oh, is it meant to be like, so sensuous and seductive? And I was like, no. Actually, it was chosen by my chef. I did not have anything to do with the name, but it's a play on words.
Thank you so much, Jacqueline, for being on this
Thank
show. I
you.
really enjoyed it.
Chup, chup, chup. Ah, your pen's not working. Okay, it's working.
This is a line that I get all the time. The pen's not working. Okay, it's working.
Okay, it's working.
Akash,
Yes.
I thought this was meant to be 20.
Just like old time.
How good was that?
Look at you, you're just like, all right, whatever.